Longtime New York Jet just announced his retirement. Mangold.
Congrats, brother. Congrats. Welcome to the club.
Well, thank you.
Welcome to the club.
A terrific player and a really interesting and fun person. And Himbo put together a little question for you here because it's always interesting. You played 11 years for the Jets. You snapped the ball to 13 different quarterbacks during that time. How many of them do you think you can name?
13. I think I can get them all.
Okay, go.
All right. So we have Chad Pennington start.
Okay, go ahead.
Kellen Clemens.
Yeah.
Then we had Mark Sanchez.
Right.
I think Brad Smith gets thrown in there. He doesn't count as a wide receiver.
He did not ever take a snap from you. Go on.
I shotgun snapped him. And then there's we had Geno Smith.
Yep.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
Shoot.
Fight.
Oh, Favre. Brett Favre. You can't
Correct.
forget him. And then Greg McElroy.
Correct.
Trying to think.
He was a personal punt protector.
I don't think I ever snapped him as a quarterback.
We have Tim Tebow written down on this list.
I want to see the evidence of that.
All right.
Oh, Himbo, it's a challenge.
Because I know he was on, but I don't think he ever played quarterback.
Here's the rest of the list. Mike Vick.
Oh, Mike Vick. I forgot
Bryce
about Mike
Petty.
Vick.
Mark Brunell.
Oh, Brew.
Mark Brunell.
Yeah, I forgot about
Patrick
Brew.
Ramsey and Matt Sims.
P-Ram.
But
Yeah.
we will have to see. So sometimes,
Wow.
you forget about the
Who is
despite
Matt
the
Sims?
despite it's Phil Sims' son. Isn't that one of Phil's sons?
Oh.
So despite the intimacy of the relationship, sometimes the center doesn't know who the quarterback always is. And now, of course, you were there when the Jets drafted Mark Sanchez, the quarterback out of USC, and put all their hopes in him. And now they've done the same again a few years later. What is your reaction to the Jets drafting Sam Darnold?
You know, I'm excited about it, and I was a little concerned when they moved up to 3 because, at 3, you don't know. You could say, all right, we have 2 quarterbacks that are going to be franchise quarterbacks, but at the same time, you can't say we have 3. So the fact that the Giants passed on a quarterback and they were able to pick one of 2, I'm excited for him, and I think that even though he is young, I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. As long as they do the right things coaching-wise, he should do well.
Let me ask one on that, and then I'll turn you over here to RC. There are a couple of different ways of looking at the rookie and when he should be thrown out onto the field and all of that. And the Jets, as you well know, have Josh McCown there right now, who's more than suited to tutor him and to carry some of the load. What is your overall thought on when a rookie quarterback should be thrown into the fire?
Well, I think that's a big part of your coaches. I think the coaches have to say, all right, this is when we can put him in. Because if you throw him in, if you draft him day 1 and then anoint him starter day 1, that could pose problems. And if you say draft him day 1, he's not going to start for 4 years. That could cause problems. So you have to have a lot of trust, especially as a GM, in your coaching staff to say when he's ready, they'll put him in.
Well, you played for the Jets your entire career. This is a different place when you were in New York with the media attention and how they see the quarterback position in New York. What does it take to be the starting quarterback of a team like this in a city like this?
Well, I think you already have the blueprint made. Eli Manning. He's been here, he's done it, and he's done it very well. I think if Sam Darnold follows that blueprint, follows that line, he can do the same thing here.
Couple of different things. I'm always fascinated by the interview process that leads up to something like the NFL draft. You were a first-round pick, late first round by the Jets the year they took 2 offensive linemen in that first round. What are your recollections on that? Because people sometimes look at the process now and they say it takes months and months. Teams talk themselves into and out of more players than they could ever possibly draft over that period of time. Your thoughts on the way the process is structured and any recollections that you have of it personally?
I think it's crazy that you put, there's so much effort put into drafting guys and you really still have no idea how they're going to pan out. And for me personally, I watched my roommate, AJ Hawk. He went on every visit to every team, flying across the country back and forth. And I took 0 visits. And I called my agent and was like, I don't think I'm getting drafted because I'm not going, no team wants to go. And he goes, well, listen, they know what they know, and that's it. So I think the whole thing, as many coaches have said, it's a big crapshoot, and you're just taking your best guess.
You've won head-to-head against the Patriots so many times, literally and figuratively, including, with some success, really. People forget about that. You won a playoff game in Foxborough, the last playoff game the Jets have won to this point. You look at the Patriots and some of the things that are going on in New England right now that feel unlike them. Some of the noise coming out of there doesn't feel very Belichickian. What is your perspective on what we see going on with New England right now?
Watching it from the outside and not knowing anything in there, it does have an uneasy feel because there's a lot of leaks, there's a lot of things going on, which is very anti-Belichick. I think if this is the end it's happening very quickly. And, you look at the way the things have come out during the season, towards the end of the season, and then, as things are going with Gronk and Brady, it just has a weird feeling about it.
You were also a team leader. I'm sorry, RC.
Yeah, I have a very important question here.
Go.
Would you drink beer off a fish?
Off of a fish?
Did you see the Tennessee offensive line? They're doing this to support the Predators, and they're at all these games, and they pour beer onto this catfish. And we were talking about how offensive linemen just stick together and do ridiculous things, no matter how ridiculous they are.
Of course, and I think if it supports the team, you got to drink that beer out of that fish. I mean, that's what you're doing because you're
Look
there.
at the screen.
You got to support.
Nick would definitely drink beer from a fish. Watch, and I proved it.
So RC has.
This is live TV.
For the record, that was why I thought you weren't ready to ask a question, because I looked over and I saw you typing, and that's why I jumped in on you.
I would do it. I would be there, support team. I've had a lot of fun at Rangers games. I see it. And it's fantastic. And they're supporting the team. They're doing their part to try to propel that team to get the victory. And if it's drinking a beer off of a fish, so be it.
Fair enough. But tell me, would you drink this? For both of you football-playing dudes, I have a Meanwhile on Planet Earth for you here, and it involves Steelers receiver Antonio Brown, who may be the best receiver in the NFL. He is the most productive for sure. And he was sort of channeling his inner Rocky here. Did you guys see the video that he posted of himself chugging raw eggs? This was on his Instagram. Have we ever done this?
I have actually tried pretty much everything, so yes, I have done it before.
And
it doesn't really taste like much. And if you drink it fast enough, it's just the consistency that's tough. And there are going to be thousands of high school wide receivers that do this in hopes of being as good as Antonio Brown.
Rocky was a movie. It is fictional. And nobody needs to be drinking eggs out of a glass. They need to be cooked up. And I will drink a beer off a fish. I will not drink a raw egg.
So if the other O-linemen were all drinking raw eggs, I assume you would have drank raw eggs.
Peer pressure will win. Absolutely.
But I'm not going to do it to try to, I'm going to improve myself by drinking a raw egg. That just seems ridiculous.
Well, that's not true. It's not ridiculous.
It is
and
ridiculous.
If Rocky did it and Antonio Brown has done it, people in Pennsylvania will continue to drink raw eggs.
I hate to break this to you, but Rocky is not real.
But
Rocky's
everybody in Philly, Rocky is not real.
First of all, Rocky's one of the greatest boxers of all time. The insurmountable odds that Rocky Balboa was able, the Russian, he was on steroids, Nick. The Russian was on real life steroids.
I was right there with you cheering USA, USA.
Clubber Lang was a monster. He beat us in the first fight. But we worked out. You saw when we worked out with Apollo and all of those mean guys? We were there. And in the end, what did we do? We beat Clubber Lang. I can't believe you think Rocky's fictional.
Rocky ended the Cold War, Nick.
By himself.
So disgusting.
By himself.
I was all excited that Nick was coming on here. I thought we see eye to eye on so many things.
Time out. One for Hembo. Put it up on the screen. We found the image of Nick Mangold snapping the ball to Tim Tebow. You said it had never happened. Never question Hembo.
There it is. There it is.
That was the most significant moment of Tebow's New York Jets career, actually.
He got a snap from Nick Mangold.
Man, do not interpret that as a shot at Tebow. The Jets totally mishandled and misused that situation and misused him. They fattened him up like a Christmas goose.
It's not really a shot when it's true.
What's that?
It's not a shot when it's true.
It's not a shot. I didn't mean it to be that way at all. But, Nick, it is a delight to see you, and I hope that now in your retirement you will stop by and see us from time to time.
Absolutely.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Nick Mangold, everybody, one of the really good guys